दाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते रोमपद स्वामी निधि नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निधि नामिने. So we are continuing the book. We are reading the book called Teachings of Lord Chaitanya by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So currently we are in page 189, and the current chapter is 23, Why Study the Vedanta Sutra. In continuation to that, even the Mayavati impersonalists who flatter themselves that they have become the Lord are not Abhigna or Swarat, fully cognizant or fully independent. Such Mayavati monists undergo a severe process of austerity and penances to acquire the knowledge of becoming one with the Lord. But ultimately, they become dependent on some rich follower who supplies them the requisite paraphernalia to conduct a great establishment in the form of monastery and temples. Atheists like Ravana and Hiranyakashipu had to undergo severe penances before they could float the authority of the Lord, and ultimately they were so helpless that they could not save themselves when the Lord appeared before them as cruel death. The same is applicable to the modern atheists, who also dare to float the authority of the Lord. Such atheists will be dealt similar awards as were meted out to the past great atheists like Ravana and Hiranyakashipu. History repeats itself, and so what was accorded in the past will reoccur again and again whenever there is a such necessity. So, whenever there is a negligence of the authority of the Lord, the penalty by the laws of nature is always there. That the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, is all perfect, is conformed in all Suti mantras. It is said in the Suti mantras that all the perfect Lord glanced over matter, and thus he created all living beings. The living beings are parts and parcels of the Lord, and the impregnates the vast material nature with the seeds of spiritual sparks, and thus the creative energies are set in uh, motion for so many wonderful creations. One atheist friend argued that God is no more expert than the manufacturer of a subtle watch, which moves by delicate machineries. We had to relay to the atheist friend that God is still a greater mechanic than the watchmaker in the sense that he creates one machine in duplicate male and female forms. The male and female forms of different grades of machinery go on producing innumerable quantities of similar machines without the further attention of God. If a man could manufacture such sets of duplicate machines to produce further machines without any attention from the original manufacturer, then of course a man could equal the intelligence of God. But that is not possible. Each and every one of the imperfect machines has to be handled individually by the mechanic, or nobody can be equal in intelligence to God. Another name of God is Asa, therefore Asamorda. Nobody is equal to or greater than him. Everybody has his equal or superior in intelligence, and nobody can claim that he has neither. Uh, This fact is corroborated in the Shruti mantras, where it is said that before the creation of the material universe, there was the Lord, who is master of everyone. The Lord instructed Brahma in the Vedic knowledge that personality of Godhead has to be obeyed in all respects. Anybody who wants to become free of the material entanglement must therefore surrender unto him. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita also. Unless one surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is sure and certain that one must be bewildered even if he happens to be a great mind. When the great minds surrender unto the lotus feet of Vasudeva and know fully that Lord Vasudeva is the cause of all causes, as is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, then only such great minds become Mahatmas or truly broad minded. But such a broad minded Mahatma is rarely seen. Only the Mahatmas, however, can understand the Supreme Lord, who is the absolute personality of Godhead, the primeval cause of all creations. He is Purana, or ultimate truth, because all other truths are relatively dependent on him, and because he is the source of everyone's knowledge, he is omniscient, and for him there is no illusion as there is for the relative knower. Some scholars of the Mayavati school argue that Sri Vasudeva did not compile Srimad Bhagavatam, and some of them suggest that this book is a creation in the modern age of somebody by the name of Bopi Deva. Srila Sridhar Swami, in order to refute this meaningless argument, says that there is a reference to the Bhagavatam in many of the oldest Puranas. The first sloka or verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is begun with the Gayatri Mantra, and there is reference to this as the Matsya Purana, the oldest Purana. In that Purana, it is said, with reference to the context of Gayatri Mantra in the Bhagavatam, that there are many narrations of spiritual instructions beginning with the Gayatri Mantra and also the history of Vitrasura is in Gayatri Mantra. Anyone who makes a gift of this great work on the full moon day attains to the highest perfection of life by going back to Godhead. Similarly, there is a reference to this Bhagavatam in other Puranas where it is said that the work consists of 12 cantos and 18,000 slokas. In the Padma Purana, also there is reference to the Bhagavatam during the conversation of Gautam and Maharaj Ambrish. The king was advised therein to read regularly Srimad Bhagavatam if he at all desired liberation from the material bondage. Under the circumstances, there is no doubt regarding the authority of Srimad Bhagavat Purana under the within 500 years from the present era. Many scholars, even after the time of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, have made elaborate commentaries on the Bhagavad Purana with unique scholarship, and the serious student will do well to make an attempt to go through them to relish more happily the transcendental message from the Bhagavatam. We'll stop here, Prabhu. So here the summary is that even the chapter title is saying that why study the Vedanta Sutra. It is giving a detailed emphasis in today's section that how the Bhagavatam is important on and we can uh, and how we can attempt to relish more happiness in the in order to get the transcendental message from that Bhagavatam. Uh, for example, the Mayavati personalists, the Mayavati impersonalists who always claim different things, but they are not Swarat. They are not fully independent at all. Just they will follow some rich follower. They will get something, and from there they will claim some other thing, etc. But atheists like even the great Ravana Hiranyakashipu, they did not sustain themselves in front of Lord. So we have to be very careful in following the bogus gurus in the society. So the Bhagavad Purana is the ultimate essence for us in order to get the liberation and in order to get the transcendental message. Another thing, uh, uh, nobody is equal to or greater than the supreme personality of Godhead, and which is ultimately concluded in the Srimad Bhagavatam. We know that Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan, and these are confirmed in Shruti mantras as well. And the modern people, they are arguing on this Bhagavatam also, like this was the book which is created in the modern age and etc. But Srila Sridhar Swami, in order to counteract that argument, he had referenced to different Puranas, especially taking from Matsya Purana, the oldest Purana. In that Purana, it is said with reference to the context of Gayatri Mantra. That is the reference in the Bhagavatam, and the first verse of the Bhagavatam is also referencing the Gayatri Mantra as well. So from that, we can conclude that this is not the modern book. This is coming from very oldest Purana as well. So and in context to that, there are different conversations happen in the Bhagavatam, like Gautam and Maharaj also, and even under the circumstances, different circumstances, they have explained different situations that the Bhagavad Purana is the essence. So we need to take that message very seriously, and we need to follow that path in order to get the liberation. That's the ultimate message from the Srimad Bhagavatam. I will continue for the